I'm not going to back nothing, bro. It's hot as hell back there, bro.
Welcome back to Advocacy, Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today we have a good one, guys. What starts as a routine stop in Green Bay turns into a Ram squad car, a chase, and a teenager who refuses to identify himself. Call my mom. It's almost said like it's on repeat. Today we're busting the Wisconsin no ID myth and walking through the actual charges that stick. We'll also hit our 6 levels of evidence and have a mini jury deliberation. So with that, let's jump in.
Can you just give me the channel for a second? We're north on Adams at Elm. I'm just going to try to stop him.
Attention all units, emergency traffic. Go to D Bravo.
Let me see your hands, bro! Let me see your hands!
No! Stop! Right now!
He just rammed my car.
Stop!
Backed up into my car, he's taking off. He's going south on Madison from Maine. He rammed the front of my car and took off southbound.
Charlie King, are you injured?
Negative, Stone, are you okay? Stone was hanging on his door for a minute.
Yeah.
Is this black SUV?
No, it's eastbound at Pine, high rate of speed. Most of people are pointing all over the place. It's up the Webster. I am not actively chasing them so far behind it. Someone go towards Irwin and University. He'll head back up into the neighborhood. 1374 Day Street's probably a good bet. It's a brown Kia Sportage with the wrong plates on it. Adam Charles King 3561.
Last seen east on Pine from Webster.
Copy. Eastbound Pine from Webster.
And there's no more people outside the point.
Vehicle description again.
It's a brown Kia Sportage. The back right window, I think, is busted out. Adam Charles King 3561. Skinnier male black, driving all alone.
Somebody entered into flock so that it's flagged next time somebody goes through with one of the cameras.
I already have that done. He fucking rammed me hard.
Where?
In the front. I'm gonna check in a second, but I want to see if I can find this guy.
I didn't notice it.
Adam 1 dispatch. I'm being told the vehicle went eastbound Pine and then turned northbound onto Roosevelt, likely heading towards Maine.
No, it's at the dead end of Pine Street. I have it here. Start getting up
perimeter 3 blocks to the south, west, and east.
Super.
We cleared the vehicle. The clerks could have started track with Hawk. We don't need anybody else at the car. Find perimeter position.
We have a party calling in that there's a spare male black, not wearing a shirt, ran behind a greenhouse, Irwin and St. Clair.
Unit, I just sent out a picture of the suspect via email. Yeah, clerk, on the northeast corner there is a greenhouse. Saw him go behind there, and then in front of the yellow house to the east of there. 25 Adam on Green Bay Main, out with a male black, jeans, corner of Baird and St. Clair.
Call my mom, bro. How you gonna tell me it's not true? I know more about y'all than y'all.
Okay, where's your mom, sister?
Bro, don't worry about it. Just give me a phone so I can call my mom.
Where's supposed to call your mom? Or you're supposed to call your mom?
Phone so I'm in cuffs. How I'm supposed to call her? Oh, nah, I'm gonna do it myself. You know you do it myself. So can I call my mom?
I see you come out of that house.
You did because you stopped me.
I was over there.
Exactly. You the one that saw me. You the one pulled off. I walk out. I immediately see
You got-
pop right
you
there.
got
and
anything
pull
on
off. No, bro.
Besides your phone?
Let me call my mom, bro.
What's your name?
Let me call my mom.
What's your name?
Let me call my mom. I don't have to tell y'all nothing without y'all violating my rights right now, bro. Let me call my mom, bro. So y'all not
Let's
gonna
confirm.
let me,
You came from a
bro,
stolen car.
so y'all not gonna let me call my mom, bro.
No, we're not gonna
Come
let
on,
you
bro.
call
Why
your
is you doing all that? You think I'm gonna run in handcuffs? You not gonna what?
Huh?
You not gonna what?
I said, I'll call your mom. I'm not gonna
Then
take
do
your
it right
handcuffs off.
now. Bro, y'all not touching me without my mom present, bro.
Where did you get your law degree?
Bro, what you mean law degree? Bro, y'all finna go to out of here, bro.
Alright.
You didn't like that down there.
You can keep touching. You can take my shit off. You would feel it if I had something like that. I'm not going to back nothing, bro. It's hot as hell back there, bro. Call my mom, bro. Bro.
Hey, what is her name?
Don't call my mom, bro. I'm not going in the back of that cop car, bro. Call my
You are
mom.
going in the back of that cup.
Bro, on the TR with pistol arrest, I don't get no. Call my mom, bro. Call my mom, bro. Call my mom's, bro. Bro, call my fucking OG, bro. Move. Get my phone, too, because I know how you police do, bro. Y'all lose my shit. Don't give it back. Call my mom, bro. Call my mom, bro. Call my mom, bro. I sit on the concrete. Call my mom, bro. I'm not going in the back of this cop car. Call my mom, bro. 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 I didn't do nothing, bro. I didn't do nothing, bro.
Sit down. Sit down.
Bro, y'all finna hog tie me? Bro, put me in the car, bro.
Okay, get in the car.
Y'all gonna hog tie me? I'm 16, watch out, bro.
You almost took me out, man.
It's hell in this cop car, bro. Y'all trying to make me die in this. Bro, it's hot as in here, bro. G. Folks, it's hot as a in this car. Bro. Let me out this, bro. It's hot as. Bro, open the door, bro. You bald head ass cop. At least open the door. It's hot as hell in here. At least open the door, bro. It's hot as in here. Please, bro. Damn, bro.
What's your name?
Don't worry about my name. Just let me call my mom, bro. You can get all the information from her. Get her on the phone.
What's your mom's name?
Bro, get my mom on the phone, bro. You can talk to her. I'm not telling you nothing to tell my mom on the phone. I don't have to tell you shit until my parent is present, nigga. You think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when I do? I'm not no dumbass kid. I'm not giving you my name, bro. Call my mama. She'll give you all that information. She'll give you all that information. I don't have to identify myself. I ain't do shit wrong. Call my mom. She'll give you all that information.
Mom's number.
Give me the phone.
What is mom's number?
Bro, then y'all got me bleeding. Cause this stupid ass cop wanna grab my handcuffs hard as got my hands bleeding and shit. Bro, y'all, bro, I swear to God for offing it. What? Alright, bro, you still sitting in here looking at what? You should have been called my mom. I gave you the number. Why is she not on ring right now? Get on the phone with my OG, bro. Like, what the I was not in no stolen vehicle, bro. What y'all lying for? Show me my picture. Show me the picture y'all got me in that stolen car. Tell that bald head black come over here, show me my picture. Show me my picture. Y'all can easily say that's any, alright, that's any mixed kid in that stolen car. I wasn't in no stolen car. Y'all see me walk out that house right there, going to Joanne's. Y'all heard me on the phone. I swear to God, I hate the police folk. We do not need y'all. Y'all can't even show me my own picture. Y'all sound dumb as hell. Y'all can, like, what? Bro, how the y'all not gonna show a picture of me in a stolen car? Somebody y'all see me in a stolen car. Bro, bring me to jail, bro. I'll be out that bitch in like 2 days. Bring me to jail, bro. I'd rather be in jail than sit in this hot ass cop car. What the Bring me to jail for I don't get no Bring me to Brown County for I don't get no What the I sit in cell before I sit in this hot ass police car. What the Yo ass ugly, you don't get no skinny as no ass, no teeth, no nothing. Long ass face with a long ass nose. Hurry up, bring me to Brown County. I don't even get no I don't feel like going to jail today, bro. God, but I'll go. I don't get no what the I so did want to go to the crib, drink me some good ass Kool-Aid and watch me some good ass YouTube. It's cool though. My chance can get playing on vote. My plans can get changed. I'll go to jail.
Okay, a couple of general things before we start with our law breakdown today. All right, we have Mr. Darian Pinchart. Now, he spells his last name Pinchart. That's either Pinchart or Pinchart. It just depends on if they're going to say it like a French word or not. All right, but in Wisconsin, 17-year-olds are treated as adults for criminal prosecution purposes. And that's usually, it depends on what's happening and what kind of charges. If you have felonies involved, in most states where the age of adulthood is considered 18, a person that's 17 might be charged as an adult. Another thing, now if a person that's under the age of 18 is going to ask for their mother, that doesn't mean that they're invoking the right to have a parent present. All right, now if your Miranda rights are read, don't assume that you're free to leave. All right, with those cursory things handled, let's jump into the laws here. We're dealing with the Wisconsin laws here, okay? This happened in Green Bay. First, generally, there's no rule in Wisconsin about stopping and identifying yourself, okay? So if you're stopped and walking, in Wisconsin, there's no broad stop and ID law. Now, in some places, like my home state, there are certain situations where you must give your ID. Or you must identify who you are. Give your name and address if you're stopped and the police are asking you lawful questions. Now, that's in my home state. Obviously there, they do have certain circumstances in Wisconsin when you must show identification. If you're driving, you have to carry and display your license on demand when you're driving. That's under the statutes found in section 343.18, section 1. Now, obstruction. or resisting, found under section 946.41, section 1. Now, if you're lying or giving false info to the police, or you're physically in non-compliance, that's going to be another time when you have to identify yourself when you're being arrested in Wisconsin for resisting arrest. Now, you have to understand that this myth where people think they don't have to ID themselves is bumping into reality right here, okay? Drivers have an obligation, and certain behavior is going to expose you to criminal liability. Here, that liability is obstruction charges for failing to give your ID. Let's move on to our next big charge here we're talking about, which is fleeing and eluding an officer. This is found in section 346.04, section 3. It basically defines when a person is given certain visual or audio cues and signals to stop. That means lights and sirens, or if the police are on the bullhorn telling you to pull over, and the driver willfully flees or eludes the police. This is a Class I felony. It does have enhancements if a person is injured during the full occurrence of that whole fleeing, or if there's any death that happens, or if it's just generally high-risk conduct. Now here, that applies because, remember, at the very beginning of this, they try to stop him, they box him in, and then he reverses into the cars behind him in order to squeeze out and get away. Moving on to our third charge, we have operating a vehicle without the owner's consent. This is found at section 943.23. Now, recall at the end of the video, it seems that he was caught in a car and with some certain burglary tools. Here, a USB cable or a USB jack of some sort is what people were using at one point in time to get into certain Hyundai vehicles, and also Hyundai makes Kia. But after you break into the column there, it has behind the ignition, it just has a USB plug to start these cars up. But here the law says when a person operates or drives a vehicle without the owner's consent, they'll be liable under this law. This is also a felony. It's usually classified as a Class H felony when you take and drive. Now, when you just operate without consent, it's a Class I felony. Here, the police mentioned that the ignition area was damaged. They found the USB theft tool and the abandoned car. Now, remember, they also had the photo of him inside the car from the Bodycam. So there's quite a bit going on here that points to operating a vehicle without the owner's consent. All right, our next charge is second degree recklessly endangering the safety of others. This is found at 941.30, section 2. Now, this crime is defined as when a person criminally is reckless or exhibits reckless conduct creating unreasonable and substantial risk of great bodily harm. This is a Class G felony, and it applies when he backs into the squad car and also when he flees through the residential area trying to get away from the police. All right, the next crime is in the same vein: hit and run and a person's duty to provide aid after an accident. This is all found at section 346.67 and 346.74. And the basics are a person must stop, remain, and provide their info and provide aid if necessary after a crash. Now, the penalty here is based on how much property damage we're talking about. And it can go into felony ranges if there's injury, great bodily harm, or a fatality that happened. Here, Darian made contact with the squad car, and when he left, that both checks the boxes for a hit and then a run. Now, everything about the classification of this one depends on the level of injury. Next, resisting or obstructing an officer. This is found at section 946.41, section 1. This law states that if a person knowingly resists or obstructs an officer doing their lawful duties, that's going to be considered obstruction. Now, to obstruct also includes providing false information or physical interference. This is a Class A misdemeanor. It can have enhancements based on the severity of what's going on. Now, refusing to enter a squad car and or any deception on his part will fit into this 946.41. Now, silence alone is not a crime, all right? You have a absolute right to not incriminate yourself under the Fifth Amendment. All right, our final crime is improper or unauthorized use of place. This is found at 341.61. And it defines this crime as any time a person displays plates not issued to that vehicle. This is a forfeiture penalty, so that's basically their lowest level of type of penalty. It's a traffic offense. The officers here said that the plates didn't match that vehicle, and that's what was triggering the stop. All right, next let's move into our evidentiary standards. These are at play at every instance of police interaction and activity. All right, let's walk through our 6 levels of evidence. We start at the lowest and we work our way up to the highest. First, mere suspicion. Now, at this level, the government or the police, they don't have any concrete facts, so they can't make or take any legal action just yet. Now, what's going to happen is the police are going to pay closer attention. At this stage, they're beginning to get into that investigative process. They're looking to see if there's going to be a crime going to happen. Perfect example. Police get behind the Kia, the plates don't match. Intuition might whisper this could be a stolen car. Now, that also could be not true, right? So it's just a mere suspicion at this point, but it's going to cause the police to pay closer attention. Moving up a level, reasonable suspicion. Now, at this level, the police or the government have specific facts that a crime may be afoot. This does enable them to make a short Terry stop. That's where they stop a person and try to find out what's going on, where they're going, and to make sure there's no criminal activity happening right now. Now here, the mismatched plates and then the evasive reverse, all that's going to lead to a stop to figure out what's going on. Why are you driving this way? Is there an issue? Moving up one more level, we have probable cause. Now at this level, the government or the police are going to arrest someone. This is when there's a fair probability that there's a crime that's either happened, happening, or about to happen, and they have enough information to link the suspect to this crime. I want you just to remember, when you hear the word probable cause, that means somebody got arrested. Now also, this is the level where the police or the government can go to a judge and receive a warrant for that agency to go search and obtain evidence. Now here, in this situation, Mr. Pinter, he rammed the squad car and then he flees. At this point, you're going to have probable cause for fleeing and likely hit and run. Now, when they found the car, they also found the damaged ignition, and in the vicinity, very close to that car, they also found the USB tool that's used to break in these cars. Let's move up one more level. Preponderance of the evidence. Now, at this level, the government is either going to be suing us or we're going to be suing someone else. And in these types of lawsuits, we're talking about people being sued either to make them perform on the contract or they're being sued to compensate someone. We're talking about money here. Now, this standard means that it's more likely than not that my claim is true or your claim is true. All that's required is 51% of the evidence in someone's favor to win. Whoever gets to 51 first is going to win. So this is civil territory. Now here, the city can claim that they've had damages because look, that squad car is going to have to get fixed. They would use simply the body cam footage. They would use also the dash cam footage, the radio logs, and they use the estimate that it cost to fix this vehicle. I think all that would cross the 50% threshold easily. Next, clear and convincing evidence. Now this is a step up. This level means that it's highly probable and substantially likely that our claim is true. Now at this level, once again, it could either be the government suing us, it could be us suing someone else. Now this happens and this is used in a certain set of cases, particular kinds of cases like administrative hearings dealing with people's licenses or certain fraud cases, family law hearings involving custody, mental health hearings, all the type of cases that are civil in nature, but that are going to require more receipts before we say someone has actually won their argument. Now, at a civil forfeiture hearing, they might look at things like the ignition damage, the burglary tools, the flight, abandonment of a car, and that might be used to determine that it's highly probable that his bond should be set at a certain level. Now, clear and convincing evidence does come up. You see it in the criminal context when we're talking about a defendant who's trying to bring a novel defense. Before it will be allowed to be presented, you have some burden shifting that happens. The burden's on the defendant first to prove they actually have this defense, and then they can present it. Finally, we have beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, this is the highest standard in the American justice system. This is required for every criminal trial. This level means that there is no other logical conclusion besides the defendant being guilty of the charges that were brought against them. This level is going to require the government. Now, the government's only going to be the one required to meet this standard. Usually, there's a few contexts where it's outside of the criminal realm, and even there, it's sort of in the criminal realm. And I mean probably probate. There's certain probate actions where beyond a reasonable doubt is used, and that's dealing with someone stealing someone else's money or trying to do some sort of deception. So you see it's still criminal in nature. But here, the prosecutor is going to need to meet this standard of beyond a reasonable doubt for every element of the crimes they charge against Mr. Pincher. So for that fleeing charge, they use the synchronized body cam and dash cams. They put the officers on the stand. They put the K9 handler on the stand to talk about how they had to go about finding Mr. Pincher and where they found him at. Now, it's a high probability that with all the evidence, Mr. Pincher would have been found guilty at jury trial. Now, he actually pled guilty, and he was given an opportunity to be on probation for 2 years. He is now incarcerated. He was revoked and sent to prison. We have all his information in the comments below. We also have his information concerning his recent case that he's still dealing with. He's about to take a plea on that case next month. After that case has been finalized, we'll talk more about that case in full. I do have the documents below, and the criminal complaint on that one is 47 pages and quite interesting. All right, next, let's move into the jury perspective, and let's deal with this case as if it went to jury trial. All right, let's imagine that we're on this jury. There's 12 of us here. Let's ask a few questions. Now, first, did the state prove that he willfully fled after a lawful signal to stop? Remember what we saw and remember what we heard. Sirens came on, a chase ensued. Let me ask you a second question. Now, does backing into the squad car and then fleeing, does that show criminal recklessness, or does it seem more like negligence? And did his conduct, when they finally did find him, refusing to get in the car, stiff-arming the police, does that meet the definition of resisting arrest or obstructing a law enforcement officer? Now, we're informed that there's an image that was taken from the body cam that was sent out and showed the man in the car. Now, we don't see that body cam image that they actually used and sent out as an APB. Now, if we didn't have that, but we do have the K9 officer in here who testified, we can see the ignition damage to the car, and we look at where he was detained at. Do you still have enough to make a decision here? All right, for that charge of operating without the owner's consent. Now, if you find a burglary tool and it's sufficiently explained, does the presence of that tool, does that beat out any denials from the defense? All right, one final one. So also looking at how hot it was that day, it was 87 degrees or thereabouts on that day. Is it unreasonable for him to be in the back of the squad car versus being taken immediately to jail? All right, in the end, you all tell me, guilty or not guilty for resisting and fleeing and eluding, also operating without the owner's consent, and why? All right, let's talk about the bottom line here, okay? In today's lecture, we found out that it's kind of a myth. You have to show your ID in certain circumstances, okay? Now, the turn side of that is that silence isn't going to be a crime, but lying or physical noncompliance can easily turn into obstruction or resisting charges. Now, second, ramming the police is always going to be a problem, okay? Running from the police, also significant problem. Both of those are going to quickly move this from suspicion to probable cause and potentially leading to a conviction. Now, evidence is going to be bravado every time. Here we had a damaged ignition. We had some theft tools. We had a K9 that had to track somebody down. I think the video tells a more complete story than calling someone's mom for assistance. If you learned anything today, leave a comment below. If you have a legal concept you want to discuss, put it in the comments. Like, subscribe, share the video. Remember, this is Advocacy Alchemy, and I am Professor Ross. I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone have a great day. Stay safe out there.
I order you to subscribe to Advocacy Alchemy and return tomorrow, 8:45 a.m. Central, for another lecture. Dismissed.